Welcome to Build Your Maverick Business, the podcast for underdog, outlier, and renegade entrepreneurs. Brought to you by Strange Creative Studio. If you dream of going off on your own and launching your rebel empire, but don't know where to start, you're in the right place. We'll teach you how to use mindset, branding, and practical advice to build a killer business and transform your world. And now, here's your host, founder of Strange, Alex Pitt.
All right, everyone. How's it going? I apologise in advance if I sound a little bit croaky today, a little bit nasal, because I've not been very well. I think this changing weather has done a bit of a number on me. But I tell you what, I'm glad I'm getting it out of the way now, because I'm off on my holidays next week. Yay! I am off to New York and then Vegas. Like, oh my God, there is an emo festival going on in the middle of the desert in Vegas. So we're flying over. It'd be rude not to. And before that, we're going to go to New York for a few days and be proper little tourists. I am so excited. Haven't been on holiday in ages. Haven't been to America since I was about 14. So this is going to be so good. Yeah, cannot wait. So it means that today I am bulk recording. I am getting a few of these done so that you're not going to miss me while I'm away. So yeah, hopefully I can pretend that I'm with you when I'm actually hiding from the sun under SPF 100, seeking out shade in the Nevada desert. Anyway, don't say I don't look after you, my loves. So, the thing I want to talk to you about today, I know I like to talk about random waves of inspiration and the silly things that inspire me from pop culture. But what inspired me to talk to you today was actually a really, really wholesome, lovely moment that happened when we were on a client call the other day. And it just filled me up with so much joy and pride and fulfillment for the work that I do. And I'll tell you what happened. So we're on this lovely call, lovely client, and we're finding out a bit more about what this business we're up to. Now, they are right at the start of a kind of transition into a new kind of thing for them. They're bootstrapping everything. They haven't got a lot of budget, so they just wanted to have like an hour strategy session just to kind of pick my brains a little bit. I hate that expression, but I can't think of a better one, so apologies. They just wanted to pick my brains for a little while. So on this call were myself and Joe, who you've heard me talk about. He's our Director of Operations and Marketing, and he's also coming with me to Vegas next week. So you've heard me talk about Joe before. He is my boyfriend and he works for Strange. Now, Joe is very much on board with what I'm doing, right? I met him just before Strange launched, so he's kind of seen this whole thing through. He's seen the evolution of my business and my brand. And I kind of corrupted him, right? When we met, he was working in a corporate 9-to-5 and he's since gone self-employed. So yay, corrupting everyone. Start your business, guys. Anyway, what I think I took for granted, even though I know that he's really on board and he really gets what I'm doing, it's just kind of like how much he's absorbed everything that I talk about all the time. And he's really involved in the Strange mission. He gets excited when I talk about it. We have meetings in the pub over a pint of neck oil where we hash out ideas and we make plans and we're frantically writing notes on our phones so we don't forget anything that we talked about that we want to implement. But he really caught me off guard when we were on this call because we were talking to this client about their branding, about their business model, about everything that they were kind of confused about. And at one point, Joe jumped in and gave an example of something that I talk about a lot, but he explained it in a way that I hadn't thought about. And it was so strong that I had to share it all with you today. So thank you, Joe, for your little wave of inspiration and for just getting it. You're the best. So what he said was this: think of your business like a tower that you're building, right? Your business is a tower. And if you have a weak foundation, the tower is going to collapse, right? No matter how good the rest of the building is, no matter how strong the architecture is, no matter what materials you use, if that foundation is weak, it's all going to come crashing down. So your brand is the foundation, right? If you get that brand right, if you make that out of concrete and not sand, then you can build as high as you want to go. If you don't get it right, everything will come crashing down, right? If you're trying to build the Empire State Building on clay, it's going to collapse. So when he gave this analogy, I was like, fuck, yes, that's it. Like, that's explained it so much better than I have in the past. And I need to go into a bit more detail about why this is so effective and why I was like, I need to tell the Build Your Maverick business crew about this. So yeah, just to rewind a little bit, for context of how this came up, this lovely client who we're talking to, they run a service-based business. So they're already up and running, but they want to grow. They jumped on this call because it was a kind of, oh, Christ, where do we start kind of thing, right? They're just like, we don't know what we should be focusing on. We don't know where to start. So they're trying to find the right people who will benefit from the work that they do. And they're a bit scattered, right? They don't know where to start. Now, this is a kind of rite of passage for founders. So you might find that when you're starting out, you've tried everything, right? You've tried every kind of marketing going. You've run ads, you've written blogs, you're showing up to every networking event, every Facebook group, you're posting on social media every day, on your feed and on your stories, and it's just not happening. You're not getting to where you want to be. Now, everyone will be telling you something different of what you need to do to achieve that success, right? Everyone is going to offer you a different solution. And I promise you, as soon as you really get into building a business, that Instagram algorithm is going to fuck you, right? All of a sudden, you have every Tom, Dick and Wanker on the internet trying to sell you the one thing you need to make 7 figures in your business. They'll come at you with memes. They'll show you case studies that seem too good to be true and probably are. They'll bring you into their sales funnel and suddenly you're parting with all of your seed money, all of the money that you put aside to start this up, because you're sold on the idea that this one thing is all you're missing. This one solution is all you need. Riches await you on the other side of this silver bullet thing. Sound familiar? Now, I've said it before so many times, but I speak from experience on this podcast, right? I speak from experience. I have been sucked into all of this. Been there, done that, bought the ebook, right? I've watched so much free training, which for some bizarre reason, by the way, is always like 3 hours long, and there is so much faff in between. Like there'll be 20 minutes of actual useful information of stuff that you can take away and implement, and then like 2.5 hours of them just like saying hello to people in the comments of the Instagram live, and it's like, oh my God, waste of my life. Anyway, rant over. Now, luckily, for the most part, you can take a step back from that. You know, you can put your bloody phone down and think, nah, don't like being sold to. No, thank you. But then you can still find that this happens when you ask for advice from other founders. Everyone has a different experience. Everyone follows a different path to success. And when you're lost, when you're struggling and your business isn't where you want it to be, you can fall into the trap of being really reactive and taking anyone's advice, right? As soon as somebody says to you, oh, when I was building my own business, I tried this thing and it really worked for me. You just do it straight away, right? You think, well, it worked for them. It must work for me. I'm going to have to do this straight away. Being so reactive. And that is something I'm so guilty of a lot of the time. Now, I need to draw a comparison here, which I think is quite helpful. Full disclosure, I do not have children. I've told you this before, but in case this is the first episode that you're listening to, I don't have any kids. But I know a lot of people who do. Right, I'm at that age when there is a new baby on my Instagram feed every few days. I have recently in the last year become an auntie. And one thing I hear pretty much all of those parents agree on is that you can read every book under the sun on parenting, listen to every bit of advice, learn everything in theory about raising a child, but no 2 kids are the same. There is no one-size-fits-all solution for raising kids. You, the parent, know what's best for your child. Maybe not at first, but you learn, you get there. Now, I always talk about your brand not being your logo, right? I need to make this so abundantly clear right now, in case you have not heard me say it 10 million times before. Your brand is not your logo. Your brand is the why behind the product or service that you're selling. It's the unique personality that makes your business stand out, that makes it wholly personal to you. In the same way that only you understand why your child is crying, when everyone else tells you something different about how you need to fix it, only you really know the solution, right? Only really you know intuitively what's right for your business. But what needs to come before you really feel into that intuition is understanding that brand, connecting with it, and feeling unshakably confident about it. That will fuel that intuition to help you make the right decisions for your business. so that those decisions aren't based on what everyone else is telling you to do. They're based on what feels right for you, your business, and the mission that you're on. Right, this is why the Not Just a Pretty Logo online program, we go through mission, values, storytelling, this stuff which is actually quite vulnerable, like makes you feel quite vulnerable because you're having to look internally at why you're doing this in the first place and what you really give a shit about. And when you connect with that, that is forming that unique brand, a meaningful brand that people are going to rally and want to follow. Now, in my, what I like to call my LBS, that's Life Before Strange. Every time I had to build another layer on that tower, right, the whole fucking thing came crashing down. It was countless hours of fruitless energy thrown at something that was not progressing, right? Remember me talking about how I felt like a hamster in a wheel, constantly running and never getting anywhere? Now, since following my own advice, since building my own brand, following the framework that I now teach, it very much feels like building that tower, right? It's real exponential growth. Because laying that foundation has helped me make so many decisions for the business, which have turned out to be really good decisions. Don't get me wrong, I don't get everything right the first time. It would be really boring if I did, right? We love a challenge, treat your business like a video game. But instead of doing what I think I should be doing, by comparing myself to other founders, to other people's journeys, I trust in my brand and I do things the strange way. Always the strange way. The strange way would not have existed if I hadn't followed this framework and really understood what my brand was, what my brand is, what my brand continues to be and grow. So yeah, like I say, I've made mistakes, of course I have, and I've learned so much along the way. But creating that strong brand has meant that my business has grown in ways I had only dreamt about a couple of years ago, just 2 short years ago. So my loves, pay attention to your brand, not your logo, your brand. Build that foundation, concrete foundation. When you do, you can go as high as you want. Trust yourself and your mission. All right, my darlings, I'll catch you here next time.
Got an idea for a Maverick business of your own? Learn how to build a powerful brand that will get people obsessed with our online program, Not Just a Pretty Logo. You'll learn a simple step-by-step framework that will kickstart your killer brand and help you find your raving fan base. Find out more today at strangecreativestudio.com.